What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on the multiverse. So Kevin Feige has been talking again, so people have been listening. But literally what he said, guys, you should already know. So if you are new to the channel, we're giving away the Captain Marvel Blu-ray or 4K or DVD if people still use that, but I don't know why anyone would use that. So all you got to do is subscribe to the channel and let me know down below. Why should I pick you? So let's get into this video. So Spider-Man Far From Home has been out for over 1 week now, so I shouldn't really need to say spoiler warning, but in case you haven't seen it, and I don't want to ruin your life because it is the best movie Marvel have ever produced. So let's get into this video. So the biggest talking point in the community was when Quentin Beck said in one of the final trailers for Spider-Man Far From Home, "The multiverse, I'm from your Earth like another Earth." And everyone was like, wow, the multiverse, that means we're going to get Tobey Maguire, we're going to get Andrew Garfield's variation of Spider-Man, kind of like in Spider-Verse movie that Sony made, Sony Animation. Yeah, that could happen, but that could have happened a long time ago because, you know, the Ancient One spoke about the multiverse. We've seen the quantum realm, we've seen the dark dimension, which is other dimensions, which means it's the multiverse. So did Mysterio lie about being from the multiverse? Yes, guys, he lied. He really did lie. So essentially Mysterio worked for Tony Stark, created the bath technology. Tony Stark stole it and pretty much is a fraud. So let's go over what Mr. Kevin Feige said when asked by Fandango as to whether Mysterio deceitfully reveals means we never see the multiverse in the MCU. I mean, this is ridiculous, guys. It's like, does anyone watch these movies? Watch Doctor Strange again. Guys, go back and watch Doctor Strange. It's a more important movie than most of the fans know, because the criticism was Mysterio lied about the multiverse, thus there is no multiverse. The multiverse was set up years ago, and my boy Kevin Feige reaffirms this. His answer says this. Surprisingly, frank for someone who's kept secrets for a living. No, it just means he was full of shit. He said, I mean, in Doctor Strange, we hear the Ancient One talk about the multiverse, so we've already established it's a thing. Wait, what? It's a thing? Yeah, the multiverse has been name-checked in Doctor Strange on more than one occasion. The Ancient One first mentions upon initially meeting Stephen Strange in Nepal during a hallucination scene. She asks, who are you in the vast multiverse, Mr. Strange? Later during Doctor Strange training, the Ancient One explains that her magic is drawn from other dimensions in the multiverse. So there you have it, guys. The multiverse has been introduced well before Avengers Infinity War. The fact that Dormammu comes from the dark dimension, I mean, the dark dimension, could it give it away anymore? The multiverse does exist, but we just don't know how the multiverse works, because everyone was expecting an Into Spideyverse situation. Spider Monkey made a really cool image, which most likely be in the thumbnail, of Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, of Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, and also of Tom Holland Spider-Man, which is interesting because it's one of the best artworks I've ever seen from him. So I will leave his link down below because the guy needs more respect. He needs more props. Such a freaking cool artwork. So yes, the multiverse is already out there. Now what is interesting is my research guy said this. He said the exact same thing. Mysterio is gonna lie, but the multiverse was already set up during the Doctor Strange movie, which 90.999% recurring of the Marvel Cinematic Universe fans didn't watch Doctor Strange, or they didn't listen to it. So yes, the multiverse does exist. The quantum realm is technically part of the multiverse in a way, you could say, because you're traveling to a different timeline, so to speak. But Spider-Man Far From Home is one of the most important movies in the MCU and one of the best. That triggers people when I say it, but when you really watch it properly for the second time, you will realize that I am right. So what is interesting is Spider-Man Far From Home has made just under $600 million in the opening week. But what is interesting is if Spider-Man Far From Home does not make $1 billion, Sony can break free of the Marvel Studios deal, thus for no Spider-Man 3. So it's recently come out from a report from slashfilms.com. quite a respectable website that it says this. Sony and Marvel Studios back in 2015 to share the character, the original Marvel Spidey deal to co-produce the movie simultaneously. That if Spidey cleared 1 billion, Marvel would get to oversee a third movie. If it hadn't, full control would revert back to Sony, he writes. Now, this is very interesting because realistically, the movie only needs to make another $400 million in its opening, I guess you could say, my first month, second month, and it's done that in just under a week. So it will be hitting that. But this is very interesting because this is something that Sony would do. It'd be a big clause. The initial press release announcing deal said this: Sony Pictures will continue to finance, distribute and own and have final creative control on the Spider-Man movies. I don't want complete downplay of the involvement of the long-term Spider-Man producer Amy Pascal, but the quality of the project in which Tom Holland version of the Wall Crawler have appeared so far indicates that Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios influence has been significant. Just look at the failed Amazing Spider-Man franchise for a reminder of what Sony would do with the character when left to its own devices. The fact that Marvel Studios will stick around to shepherd this character through at least one more film and maybe even more if the new deal is struck. So guys, don't worry, because this movie will make 1 billion for sure. Yes, Spider-Man Homecoming didn't, but you gotta remember, Venom actually did really well. It only just got beat by Spider-Man Homecoming, so I don't really get why this article is going at Sony, but it is interesting that if it doesn't break 1 billion, then it's goodbye to Spider-Man in the MCU, which some people would prefer, because then you could have Spider-Man in the Sonyverse, in the Venomverse, go up with Venom, go up against Carnage and all that kind of stuff, because the only problem is that kind of stuff can't happen unless there's a multiverse, which is the title of the video. But the multiverse has kind of been debunked in the sense of Mysterio talking about the multiverse has been debunked, but the multiverse as a whole was introduced in Doctor Strange movie, which I really can't understand why more people didn't listen to this or didn't know about it. I mean, the multiverse is even kind of hinted at in EndGame when the Ancient One is talking to Bruce Banner about how it will affect the timeline, which is in a sense is a version of the multiverse, because there will be a timeline in each and every variation of the multiverse with infinite Earths. Let's just go with that theory that there's like 99999 times recurring Earths. But it is interesting that a lot of people seem to forget this. So it is going to be interesting going forward, seeing what's going to happen with the multiverse. They could introduce like an Into Spideyverse situation with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield if they wanted to, if they'd agree, because let's be honest, both the other actors post playing Spider-Man, I guess you could say, their careers have kind of changed for the better or worse. It depends which way you look at it. But recently, Tobey Maguire did come out and say that he would be up to be in another superhero role based movie, so I think they could both appear in some capacity. It's what the fans want, or you could give them a cameo role, have them being the pizza delivery boy to Tom Holland, Peter Parker. That's the way it could be played. It's going to be a very interesting next couple of weeks with San Diego Comic-Con coming up. Yes, Marvel Studios is there, but like we keep saying, Sony Pictures isn't there, Warner Bros. Studio isn't there, and a bunch of other studios have decided not to go to Comic-Con this year, which is a shame because your boy Warstu was going to head out there, but we've decided not to go, mainly due to the fact because no one's there, and it needs more than just Marvel Studios to be there to justify the hefty price tag. So, like always guys, let me know what you think down below about these kind of reveals, I guess you could say. Did you know the multiverse did exist? Because it's shocking to me that some people didn't know this. I mean, Dark Dimension, Quantum Realm, they're all variations of the multiverse, but I presume people referring to multiverse as kind of, I guess you could say, the easiest way to explain it would be like the Flash season like on the Flash show when like Cisco Vibe can breach to other Earths. But I guess that would be the easiest way to explain it. So guys, let me know down below, what did you think? Did you like enjoy Spider-Man Far From Home? Did you not know about the multiverse? I'm really confused why people didn't know about the multiverse. There's articles saying stuff like Kevin Feige reveals if the multiverse in the MCU really exists. Does the multiverse really exist in the MCU? Kevin Feige confirms the multiverse in the MCU. No, all Kevin Feige really confirmed was go back and watch Doctor Strange, and literally the Ancient One talks about the multiverse more than twice. Marvel fans, wake up. You are missing so much context. Go back, watch Doctor Strange, go back, watch Spider-Man Far From Home, and then you're good to go. So like always guys, please like, subscribe, and comment, and I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.